Oh, just a second. Okay.
Yeah, it's nearly 8:10. I'm not sure whether anybody else will come on. Anyway, welcome friends to our today's meeting, the Interfaith Prayers and Discussion. The order of program for tonight is the welcome that I'm doing, allocating of the readings we've done, honoring indigenous people and land. We have 2 musics for tonight with chant. Then we have 8 readings, which we've allocated people for 2. And then I introduce our speaker tonight. And then at the end of the talk, we have some answered questions. And then we end when we can, when we want to. So,
do we have the music, that another piece of music for, after the reading before you introduce the speaker?
yes,
Or
I
not?
think there's a third one at the end of the readings.
Yeah, okay.
So we start with the honoring the indigenous. Tracy would do that.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you that we can have this meeting tonight, and that I myself from on Worimi people's country on the north coast, and I'm very grateful for their efforts to take care of the land and to educate in their culture that we should respect the land and all life and people that are connected to the land, all water and sky. And wherever anybody is in Australia, you are on Aboriginal land. And I just want to pay our respect to them and to their elders who've been able to pass on the education to appreciate Mother Nature, to love her and return and fulfill our responsibilities. So we thank you for the past elders and the current elders, and for those young people who are listening and practicing the culture to carry it on in the future. Thank you. I'm just going to play the first one. Hang on.
Unless you abide in me, neither can you. you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches, he who abides in me, and I in him bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me, neither can you unless you abide in me, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches, he who abides in me, and I in him bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. I am the vine, you are the branches, he who abides in me, and I in him bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing.
I love thy creation, hence I created thee. Wherefore do thou love me? I love thy creation, hence I created thee. Wherefore do thou love me? That I may name thy name and fill thy soul with the Spirit of life, of life. I love thy creation, hence I created thee. Wherefore do thou love me? I love thy creation, hence I created thee. Wherefore do thou love me? That I may name thy name and fill thy soul with the Spirit of life, of life. I love thy creation, hence I created
If you are reading, you're muted.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. I'll start again. Magnified be thy name, O Lord my God. Thou art he whom all things worship, and who worshipped no one, who is the Lord of all things, and is the vessel of none, who knoweth all things, and is known of none. Thou didst wish to make thyself known unto men. Therefore thou didst, through a word of thy mouth, bring creation into being and fashion the universe. There is none other God except thee, the fashioner, the creator, the almighty, the most powerful. I implore thee by this very word that had shone forth above the horizon of thy will, to enable me to drink deep of the living waters through which thou hast vivified the hearts of thy chosen ones and quickened the souls of them that love thee, that I may at all times and under all conditions turn my face wholly towards thee. Thou art the God of power, of glory and bounty. No God is there beside thee, the supreme ruler, the all-glorious, the omniscient. Baha'u'llah, Baha'i prayers.
Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them. Christianity, Genesis. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Christianity, John.
Water, flame, air, ether, life and mind, and individuality, those 8 make up the showing of me, manifest. These be my lower nature, learn the higher, whereby thou, valiant one, this universe is, by its principle of life produced, whereby the worlds of visible things are born, as from a yoni. No, I am that womb. I make and I unmake this universe. Than me there is no other master, prince, no other maker. All these hang on me, as hangs a row of pearls upon its string. Hindu Bhagavad Gita.
When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained, what is man that thou art mindful of him, and the son of man that thou visitest him? For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels, and hast crowned him with glory and honor. Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, yea, and the beasts of the field, the fowl of the air and the fish of the sea, and whatsoever passeth through the paths of the sea. O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. Jewish scriptures, Psalms.
He it is who sends down water from the sky, whence you have drink, and whence the trees grow whereby you feed your flocks. You feed your flocks. He makes the corn to grow, and the olives, and the palms, and the grapes, and some of every fruit. Verily, in that is a sign unto a people who reflect. And he subjected to you the night and the day, and the sun and the moon, and the stars are subjected to his bidding. Verily, in that are signs to people who have sense, and what he has produced for you in the earth, varying in hue. Verily, in that is a sign for a people who are mindful. He it is who has subjected the sea, that ye may eat fresh flesh therefrom, and you bring forth from it ornaments which ye wear. And thou mayst see the ships cleaving through it, and that ye may search after his grace, and haply ye may give thanks. Ye may be guided, and landmarks and by the stars too are they guided. Is he who creates like him who creates not? Are they then unmindful? But if you would number the favors of God, ye cannot count them. Verily, God is forgiving, merciful. The Quran.
The one true God has everlastingly existed and will everlastingly continue to exist. His creation likewise has no beginning and will have no end. All that is created, however, is preceded by a cause. This fact in itself establishes, beyond the shadow of a doubt, the unity of the Creator. You have, moreover, asked me concerning the nature of the celestial spheres. To comprehend their nature, it could be necessary to inquire into the meaning of the allusions that have been made in the books of old to the celestial spheres and the heavens, and to discover the character of their relationship to this physical world and the influence which they exert upon it. Every heart is filled with wonder, as so bewildering a theme, and every mind is perplexed by its mystery. God alone can fathom its import. The learned men that have fixed the several thousand years the life of this earth have failed throughout the long period of their observation to consider either the number or the age of the other planets. Consider, moreover, the manifold divergencies that have resulted from the theories provided by this man. Know you that every fixed star has its own planets, and every planet its own creatures, whose number no man can compute. Baha'u'llah, greetings from the writings of Baha'u'llah, paragraph 162.
O son of being, thou art my lamp and my light is in thee. Get thou from it thy radiance and seek none other than me. For I have created thee rich and have bountifully shed my favor upon thee. O son of being, with the hands of power I make thee, and with the fingers of strength I created thee. And within thee have I placed the essence of my light. Be thou content with it and seek not else. For my work is perfect, and my command is binding. Question it not, nor have a doubt thereof. It's from Baha'u'llah, the Arabic Hidden Words.
O my God, the God of bounty and mercy, thou art that King by whose commanding word the whole creation had been called into being, and thou art that all-bountiful one, the doings of whose servants have never hindered him from showing forth his grace, nor have they frustrated the revelations of his bounty. Suffer this servant, I beseech thee, to attain unto that which is the cause of his salvation in every word of thy words. Thou art verily the Almighty, the most powerful, the all-knowing, the all-wise. Baha'u'llah, Baha'i prayers.
Create in me a pure heart, oh my God, oh my God, and renew a tranquil conscience within me, oh my hope, through the Spirit of power, confirm thou me in thy cause. O my best beloved, confirm thou me in thy cause, and by the light of thy glory reveal unto me thy path. By the light of thy glory reveal unto me thy path. O thou, the goal of my desire, through the power of thy transcendent might, lift me up unto the heaven of thy holiness, O source of my being. And by the breezes of thine eternity, gladden me, O thou who art my God. Let thine everlasting melodies breathe tranquility on me, O my companion. Let the riches of thine ancient countenance deliver me from all except thee, O my Master, O my of the hidden, of the hidden, of the hidden.
Okay, welcome friends to this interfaith session of tonight. I have to thank Siva for those for the program and the time readers for the reading of those programs, especially for those beautiful chants that he selected. Today we have a new speaker. I was going to say that a few people have apologized and the call is probably getting into them, but we now have 15 people in the meeting. So let's start having the talk. We will have a talk by Miss Aashi Parikh. Let me introduce her to you. Miss Parikh was born and mostly raised in India. Ever since she was a child, she had a deep love for animals and found herself more comfortable and at home outdoors and surrounded by nature. Now she lives in Sydney and is pursuing a PhD as a marine biologist. She's excited to delve into the topic of tonight, which is our interactions with the beauty, and to explore the different forms of beauty which attract our human hearts. Welcome, Aashi. I'll hand it to you to present.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ahmad. And thank you for having me. I have to, can I request, is it possible to enable screen sharing so that I can share my screen?
Yeah, I think, Aashi, Tracy, if you make her...
Yeah, can you share now?
Yeah, I can. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Aashi. This is Ramin, my husband.
Hi, Ron.
So I have to be honest with you all. I don't really know how to give a talk, and I don't have anything very wise to say. So I was hoping this could be more of like a discussion where I can share and introduce some quotes that I found very interesting, and hopefully we can reflect on them together and like learn from each other. And so rather than, I know the format said it would be a talk followed by question and answers, but I don't really feel like I have enough to say for a whole talk. So hopefully it can just be an ongoing conversation with us. The topic, I didn't really know how to describe the topic properly, but so it's I first came across this topic when I was doing this seminar. There's a seminar for university and graduate students. I think many of you or most of you are familiar with. It's called at the ISGP seminar, the Institute for Studies of Global Prosperity. And in this seminar, I would have been like 21 at the time, I think. And there was this idea of how like human beings are just very are drawn to things that are beautiful, and this could be a beautiful work of art or a piece of architecture or a piece of music or poetry or literature or and anything like that. And I just found it very interesting because when I was in the seminar and we were discussing it, we were also talking about how like crafts and things back in the day, where everything was made with a lot of care, and like pieces of furniture or just day-to-day things, clothes, everything was made with a lot of care and love and beauty. And also there was then this desire to preserve the thing for a longer period of time, and to take care of it, and we were kind of observing how that is slowly being lost as things are kind of mass manufactured, and the things become easy to, and like, I don't know, consumerism and things. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but that's where this idea came. I just found it very interesting, this idea of how beauty is like almost a spiritual, it is a spiritual thing. There's something very spiritual about like creating something that's beautiful, and then being like, when you hear a beautiful piece of music, your heart is attracted to it, and your soul feels uplifted. And so these are kind of the thoughts that I was having, but I might just share, as that last slide said, there was this quote that I found that kind of encapsulated what I'm trying to say much better than I'm able to. So sorry, just give me one moment and I will pull it up and share my screen. Oops, sorry, I didn't open it. There we go. Sorry.
We are hearing some sounds, but not we're not seeing. Oh, no.
I apologize. We live near the train tracks, so you will hear that sound on and off. There's a train line right
like
outside
me.
across the road. Yeah, so if you hear a strange sound, that's what it is. But this is the quote that I was looking at, and I wonder if anyone is happy to volunteer to read it. Maybe we can have someone just read this quote out. I can also call on someone.
I can read it.
That's nice of the
Yeah, Peter, I think we didn't hear your voice during the devotional. Maybe you could read it for us. Thank you.
Peter's my son on the side here. I'm Michael, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, hi. Sorry, so your name said
That's
Peter.
right.
So
That's all right. You ready? It is
Yeah.
natural for the heart and spirit to take pleasure and enjoyment in all things that show forth symmetry, harmony, and perfection. For instance, a beautiful house, a well-designed garden, a symmetrical line, a graceful motion, a well-written book, pleasing garments. All things that have in themselves grace or beauty are pleasing to the heart and spirit. What is music? It is a combination of harmonious sounds. What is poetry? It is a symmetrical collection of words. Therefore, they are pleasing through harmony and rhythm. Poetry is much more effective and complete than prose. It stirs more deeply, for it is of a finer composition. That's from Abdul Bahar, a brief account of my visit to Akka, page 11 to 14.
Thank you so much, Michael. Yeah, so maybe I'll just leave it open for a second for everyone to kind of process. And then I was just going to ask of you all if you could share maybe what are some sources of beauty that you find your heart attracted to, or you find yourselves drawn to, or you feel the most connected to. And I was just curious to hear what everyone's response is to that. Please just take a minute and then feel free to share. Yeah, Tracy, your hand is up.
Yeah, we live near a tidal river. It's very windy, and it goes in and out. And whatever, it doesn't matter what time of day or night I look at it, it is changed. It's the same, but it's different. And it's, and the moonlight sparkles on it, or the sunrise, or the sunset. And, it reflects the vegetation on either side, but it reflects the deep, it reflects the sky or a bird that's flying up. It looks like it's right down there in the water. you know, it's just the way it captures my imagination. And then at certain moments, there might be a turtle come in, or a dolphin will come in, you know, a bigger wave is going through it, or a fish jumps up, you know, and then there's so much life it's supporting. I'm just fascinated. So, you know, and sometimes it changes. And if I didn't see it in that moment, you would never have known it had happened, you know, but it's that precious moment to really put my whole attention to it, and whoever is around, we sort of sometimes just sit in awe of what it's sort of presenting to us. And it just, you know, it really feels like it's loving us. By its way, its beauty, just pulling us in to have a relationship with it. Anyway, thank you.
That was such a beautiful description. Thank you so much for sharing that. It painted such a vivid picture, and I felt like I deeply connected with everything you were saying, because I feel the same way, and I wish I lived near a tidal river, because that sounds so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. Yeah, others, please also share your thoughts. Ahmad, yeah. Ahmad,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm interested in astronomy and the
Oh.
science of cosmology and all that. And every time I go through the reading of these sort of things and seeing images of the existence that is there, yeah, I see such a beautiful, perfect symmetry in that. And I think what Abdul says here definitely applies to the creation. Just the fact that these planets are in correct movement around the sun, and the sun is in correct movement around the galaxy, and how the earth is enveloped into this flux that protects us from radiation, and all that, all creation, and then the Big Bang, and everything that is there in the universe shows perfection and a creator behind it.
Thank you. These are such beautiful thoughts. Thank you. That that reminds me of this. There's this. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Calvin and Hobbes. It's a cartoon strip. There's this cartoon where Calvin is a little boy and Hobbes is his stuffed tiger, who is like to him is like a real being. And they're standing outside under the night sky, and they're looking up. And I think Calvin says something along the lines of, if people looked up at the sky more often, I think they would be a lot nicer to each other, or like a lot kinder. And this just reminded me of what you were saying, of just like how perfect creation is, and just how when you look at the universe like that, just kind of puts things into perspective.
Yeah, if you look at the planet Earth and see its perspective to the whole universe, we stop fighting with each other. It's especially now fighting in Russia for land, destroying lives.
Yeah. Thank you. My young, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong.
Yeah, my name is Young. Yes, thank you. Young. Aashi. Yeah, Aashi. This paragraph, when I read it, it shows me the materialistic side of life. Because then, for instance, beautiful house, well-designed garden, symmetrical line, graceful motion, well-written book, pleasing garments, they are materialistic things. And they probably in real life belong to a bourgeois upper class. And therefore, you know why revolution in the history happened? People see it and they want to conquer the land there. They said, okay, that's why people who are so poor, they have nothing. And that's why they do revolution, because they see the imbalance in the wealth distribution. So when I see things like this, unless you are a very spiritual person, you look up the Milky Star, the moon and the sun, you do poems, that will be a different person. But with a person that get grown up in a capitalist area, they will say, okay, I'm gonna conquer that area. I'm gonna be like landlord. I'm gonna be this and that and that and this, because people do have greed. Just like, you know, when the Pope, he fly to a different continent or different country, first thing he come down from the airplane is he knee down and he kiss the land. He kissed the land because the Pope wanted to say thank you to God. God gave the land to everyone. No citizen or no nation can claim that it's my land. Okay, because the land is shared. Just like I grow a garden, but I cannot pick up the fruit. So I got to get a migrant from overseas to come and pick up the fruits in my farm. So the land is shared, the land is prosperous and give good distribution to people to eat, to feed them. So that is part of the job that productivity is all about. People cannot claim this is my land or your land, and they cannot conquer the beauty because people bomb the land, you know, air raid. They bomb the land, they conquer the land, they conquer the area because they want to regrow everything. So that's involve destruction also in there. So if you have a deep thinker, if we are a deep thinker, when we see something beauty like this, it will not have harmony and rhythm and good poem all the time. It's not all the time. Depend on where people are.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
True. Yeah. Pina, did you want to share? Yeah.
Yes. So our eyes are designed to see beauty, and it never get used to seeing that is not beautiful. Even our ears are designed to listen to beautiful music. And if you hear something that is noisy and hurts the ears, you will never get used to. The same thing with our life is created for happiness. So when, of course, we cannot avoid their sadness, but when that comes, you will think something is wrong. I'm supposed to be happy. So even an innocent child, it's seeing another child so happy and laughing, this innocent child will start to laugh as well. But then suddenly you show someone who is crying. This child don't understand, but become very sad too. When someone is crying, it feels like the child wants to cry too. And so I had experience. I was admiring one beautiful lady, young lady. Such her movement, her grace, it was well-dressed and all. And I was so happy just looking at her. Then suddenly she started to get so angry and curse somebody. And totally, it just dropped everything. And where is the beauty is gone. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that was an interesting observation. Thank you for because I think it relates to a little bit what Young was saying as well, that like I feel like to me when this quote speaks of beauty, although it speaks of like a house and clothes, I think it's just more things that, like this beautiful woman, although she's outwardly beautiful, like if she's like that doesn't, her actions don't depict inner beauty, which is like I think what we're really looking for and what this speaks of more. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. Nisha, you have your hand up as well.
Yeah, hi. So I find beauty in solitude. Don't get me wrong, I'm not an introvert at all.
No,
but I personally find solitude just creates this contemplative atmosphere for me. And more so in the times of COVID pandemic, I think I spent, I think probably a lot of us spent time on our own. And I think, just clearing your mind of this excessive noise actually allows you to ponder on life's complex and intricate questions. And I personally find solid answers in solitude. I'd like to share a quote that I personally relate to quite a lot. I love the nature. I spend a lot of my time out in the bushes, and this is exactly where I find that my sense of calm and peace heightens. And this quote is by Angie Whelan Crosby. It says, "The forest spoke to my soul in a language I already knew, a distant lullaby from the womb of peace and solitude." I have this written on my board. So it's something that I relate to because, like I said, I do spend quite a lot of my time in the bushes. And and this is where, sometimes in solitude, when you spend time reflecting on your day-to-day, doing, and bring yourself account to each day, it feels that it nourishes one's soul. It certainly nourishes my soul. So this is why I find beauty in solitude. And one of my personal, it just talking about this just brings me back to this one time. I think I went kayaking somewhere in Costa Rica in this labyrinth of river channels, and it was absolutely quiet, like not a pin drop of sound, and that was my best moment in life up till today. So I think nature has a lot to offer.
Yeah. I felt everything that you said. I think I also feel very similarly. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. That was very beautiful. I was gonna share another quote that.
Aashi, before you go forward,
yes.
can
Yes.
I make a remark here?
Yes,
Jung
please.
said that this quote comes to her mind that is from a rich person or a bourgeois, but we have to have it in perspective that Abdullah was an exile, a prisoner in Akka, and was released at the end of his life. And that quote is really from a person that is not a rich person or a bourgeois. He is a prisoner and an exile that had understanding of the world.
Yeah, thank you for your help. But I think when he wrote that paragraph, there was an angel stay with him, and then he wrote the paragraph with an angel with the what you call the blessing from God, that God give him some sort of ideas. Because when I do poems, I know when I write poems, when I see something beautiful, like I see the sunrise and the moon set in front of the ocean, then we create poems, but we know the beauty right in front of us is not permanent. We know it's gonna flit in a way really fast. So we want to catch it really fast. So that is one of the things. When your prophets in suffering, God want to console him. God want to help him that there's something beauty out there. So don't get so sad. And so he sent angels come and help the prophet to write all these beautiful things. And I think it's good because it's, you see, there are angels and they're not angels. They're people who really want to take over somebody's properties, for example, or richness. So that is two sides of it.
I'm just gonna continue from where you left off because it's interesting that you mentioned poetry, that you like to write poems, because we'll come to that. But I will just, I'm going to share my screen again with another. So this is a very long paragraph, and I feel like it will take too long to read, so I'm not going to read it. But I'm just going to tell you the gist of it, and I'll keep it open here. But essentially, it says that human beings, man, have inner powers and outer powers. So the outer ones are like the five senses that we have: sight, smell, touch, hearing, and such. And then we have spiritual powers, and then I will just read out the spiritual powers, and that's in the second paragraph here. So it says, imagination, conceiving things; thought, which reflects upon reality; comprehension, which comprehends reality; memory, which retains whatever man imagines, thinks, and comprehends; and then an intermediary between the five outward and the inward powers is the sense which they possess in common. And then this is referred to as the common faculty. But so these, I guess these spiritual powers are, I just find it very interesting that imagination is the first one. And imagination kind of, it allows us to create, it allows us to advance. It's something that separates us from animals and from other forms of life, because as intelligent as an animal can get, I don't think animals have the power to imagine. But this is something that separates human beings and allows them to create these very advanced civilizations and languages and like ways of life, and like how, like it's a power of the soul. And so on that note, I will stop sharing again, or maybe I'll leave it open. I'll leave it open in case anyone wants to read it. Sorry. But on that note, my second question was then going to be that with in line with like this idea of beauty and now this idea of imagination, what are some channels that utilize our imagination and express our creativity? And like what are some channels like this that you feel the most connected to? And the first that comes to my mind is music. But I'm just wondering, because there are many such channels, there are many ways of expressing creativity and creating things that are beautiful. And I would be curious to hear some of your thoughts on this, and just like what acts of creativity you feel connected to, maybe. Yes, Colin.
Yeah, I like it, live performance, where, especially if you're in the front row, and you can actually see that they're giving it 100%, and they've practiced a lot. And I mean, if it's part of a good concert or show or drama or something, so much the better. But just seeing the fact that they're giving it everything that they've got for the audience.
Yeah, there's a special energy when it's like live and it's happening right there. There's this energy that's created in the room where like everyone is participating in it together, even as the audience, you're like a part of something, of this like thing that's being
And jazz is an example. I don't particularly like jazz, but I love watching people play it live.
Yeah, that's very true. I also, jazz in the background playing on the speaker I can enjoy, but like when jazz is played live, it's like it's so exciting, because it's like it's happening in front of you. And thanks for sharing that.
Just to let you guys know that I actually like jazz, but I'm not going to take what you said offending at all.
I'm so sorry. I do like, I have quite a few jazz songs on my playlist, just clarifying. But I
just kidding.
No. Yes, Young.
Hello, I won't take you long. I won't take you long. I like the writing. Man has also spiritual powers, obviously. Imagination is very important when you want to create poems or write a masterpiece. The thing that, in the old day, people grow vegetable on the land, but then they have imagination. They said, okay, we don't use land or soil, how we're going to grow vegetable in a very large amount to feed the mass population. So what the scientists going to do, first from their imagination, they will grow the veggie into the lab. All the lab, have you ever seen them? The lab, the farms look like the farm, but all veggie grow from the water. From the water, like tomato and all that, but not from the land. So imagination is one of the very important for creation. If you want to do a masterpiece, obviously you need it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I agree 100%. Like everything that humanity has been able to achieve it comes first from the imagination of being able to imagine something that doesn't exist and then bring it to reality. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Please, anyone who feels like sharing, please. Yeah, Pina. Am I saying your name right? How do I pronounce
Yes,
your name?
very, very right.
Okay. Pina, okay.
Thank you. Okay, I want to show you something, a reflection of reality.
Oh, let me stop sharing so we can see it. Oh,
Reflection of reality.
That's beautiful.
So this is from this is a ribbon to hold the curtain.
Wow.
So since it is a strip, I made it into, I can make it into something else very fast.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's so you pulled it apart so quickly. I was like, oh my goodness, it's gone. And it's back.
I can put it back.
You have to teach us to do that. Oh my.
Sometimes I use black ribbon, and then I ask the friends, have you seen black rose? They say, no, now you see.
And it matches your shirt as well. That's so beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes. And so sometimes I try to make from plastic bag.
Wow.
Plastic bag.
Wow. That's
this
amazing.
Is another plastic bag. And this is from the cover of the umbrella. It's long, it's a cover long. So it's like a ribbon. So I just made it, I just folded it and it became like this. So from imagination, this is the reflection of reality. And you know, when you go for visiting, home visits, you can bring some materials that you could give as present and also tell them, in the garden of thy heart, plant not but the rose of love. And so if there are children there, maybe you can sing that song with the children, and then you can make a rose and give that rose, and then you go home and they will remember you forever.
Oh, so beautiful.
Thank you.
One day, if I ever meet you in person, I would love to learn how to make that rose. And it's so it's so nice that you make it out of things that would otherwise be thrown away.
Yes,
so,
yes. I try everything, anything. So
yeah.
I even try to make. This is from the wire of the detergent wire. So I folded it to make a mother and child. I don't know whether you can see it. To make a mother and child. And this is a little rose from the mothers.
Very creative and beautiful.
You can sell these.
Oh, Pina would like one of those so I can put it in my office.
Yes,
it's so
yes.
relevant to me.
Come on. Actually, I can send you how to make it because they are already in YouTube. I can send it through Mr. Siva, maybe,
Yes.
and then and send it to you all.
Thank you.
That's so
You can
nice.
put it in the chat too, Pina.
Yeah.
You can put the link in the chat now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could do it now. I will have to find what is easier because there are few. Yeah. I will send to Mr. Siva.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so
Send it into
oh yes,
Interfaith
Anna. Yes,
WhatsApp.
Anna.
Or I just wanted to say, or send it
yeah,
to
yeah.
WhatsApp Interfaith.
Um. So, does anyone want to say anything before I continue? Please, sorry. No? Okay. So I was just going to say, like, it clearly everyone has a lot of, I think, inclination towards creativity and art, and a lot of love for nature and beauty. So my next kind of question was going to be not question, but I was going to ask if we can all just take a moment and reflect within ourselves and think about something that we feel very passionately towards, any subject of interest, something we admire maybe, or something that we want to see more of in the world, or something that we feel deserves justice, or I don't know, but something that when you think of it, like, you feel you have like very strong passionate emotions about. So taking a moment to think about that, and then I'm gonna ask if everyone can grab a pen and paper, and if we can all take 10 minutes maybe and pen down a little poem on that subject, if everyone is open to that, and then maybe we can share, whoever feels like sharing. There's no pressure to share, but we can maybe come back in 10 minutes, and whoever feels moved to share what they've written can share. But yeah, is everyone okay with that? Would that be okay? Can we do that? So we'll
Can you just clarify? So what are we spending the 10 minutes doing?
We're each going to write a poem.
A poem. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
About something we're passionate about.
About something we're passionate about. Now, if you feel like this is too particular a topic, or you can't think of anything you're passionate about, then feel free to write like a humorous limerick, or a poem about pancakes or bananas, or just anything you feel like. But if you need direction, then maybe something like that. But yeah, so please just take a minute, grab a paper and pen, or if you feel like doing it on your computer that you're at already, that's fine too. And we'll give it 10 minutes, quick poem. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece, just a just a quick thing.
Well, I just want to say, if you look at my background, I'm passionate in sunset and sunrises in nature, and it gives me very much pleasure when I see those rays of sun on the clouds.
Yeah, I saw the most beautiful sunset on my drive home today. I had like not a great day, and that sunset made me so happy. It always does. So yeah, that's always a beautiful thing to write about. I might see if I can find some mood music and play it in the background while we write.
Can I ask, is there a particular topic for us to write a poem?
So I said something that you feel very passionately about. But that could be anything. That's a very broad topic. So maybe something that you want to see more of in the world. Maybe a particular virtue or quality, or just something that you think the world needs. Maybe if you need a topic, don't feel restricted to that topic, but if it helps to have something. I'm gonna try to play some music in the background, if that.
Yeah, this is
I'm
my.
a bit slow, and I imagine that others might also be. Let me pause the music. It was nice music. Yeah, would anyone like to share what
Yes.
they've written? It doesn't have
Yes.
to be a masterpiece again. Please, Mr. Perry, please share. Sorry for the
Okay.
train noise. everyone.
Look, everything is a book. I am still learning to look. I'm still learning the book. That is the lesson I took. If I can reflect the nature, if you can reflect the nature, we can forever mature and learn to live together. That's my point.
Ah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. That was lovely. Thank you so much.
Jung,
Ah,
you got your hand up.
yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for the time. I wrote something really quickly before I got into the meeting with you, because I just had a premonition that you're gonna ask us to do something. So I had prepared before the meeting. Because you talk about, interaction with beauty. So it's not gonna be a simple, it's not gonna be a simple talk. So I do it. I wrote I wrote this one, plus the notion of the Pope, that when he get off the airplane, he used to kneel down and kiss the land. And that stayed with me, and just through the TV and social media. And now this is that I wrote it when I was thinking about the land. So see, I wrote it like this: love what God gives to human being. The land is one of them. The land belongs to God. Love what God gives to the ocean. The shining pearls, the creation of pearls, belong to God. The golden sun and the golden moon and the stars come and go, fleeting away in the gentle way. God's everlasting love stay with us now till the end of time. Thank you.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for taking time to prepare this beforehand. That's so lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, because I know you study marine, and in the marine, they gotta have a lot of pearls, and that's a treasure of the ocean, and I wonder what people do with the pearls. 100,000 of pearls under the ocean, and if you study marine, you should know about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Tracy, please share.
It was amazing, Jung. Anyway, thank you for the time. I echo that too. And time's a very precious thing, actually, isn't it? Just to sit and to think about what comes up, make space for it. Anyway, I don't know if you'd call this a poem, but this is what I wrote. I heard the bird, my friend. Thank you. All else fades. The answer to all things. Thank you. It teaches well. Be still. Breathe. All are heard. All are held. Thank you. So.
Thank you. That was very, very beautiful, very powerful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
And I must say, Aashi, your brightness, your enthusiasm to hear from us and to share about beauty is a beauty in itself.
Oh, that's very kind of you. I'm having a wonderful time, and I'm so happy that everyone is sharing so freely. It's really wonderful. I'm really, I feel very enriched by all your thoughts and all your perspectives. It's very beautiful. So thank you. Colin, please share with us.
Yeah, this is a little experience which stuck with me. So returning from a movie after dark, arriving home, my 12-year-old daughter and I find an unusual scene. Flashing blue and red lights, a neighbour fearful of the police and paramedics urging her into a police van. I see an awkward situation, avoid eye contact and sneak in through my gate. My daughter sees hearts, walks straight through the circle of uniforms and hugs my neighbour. Perhaps in every person and any situation, there is an opportunity to see beauty and to make it.
Wow.
Okay.
That was a real experience, I'm guessing. That was a real experience. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just the way she walked straight through and gave my neighbour a hug, it was really a beautiful thing.
That was very, very interesting written. I don't know the right word, but it was so interesting to hear, to like journey through that memory through your perspective. That was very, very nice. Thank you. Pina is going to sing for us, I hope, because she said that she put music to her beautiful poem. So Pina, can you share with us?
Yeah, sure. I would like to tell you the background of this. I have this so much affection and closeness to Abdul Baha, because when I was sick in 1993 for my brain tumor operation, I asked my husband to go and I was in Singapore General Hospital, to bring books, to go to the Baha'i Center and bring a big piece of something I could write, because I wanted to write. When I could write again, I would like to write the name Baha'u'llah, the manifestation of God for this age, with a calligraphy way. So I could put in the corner of my room, so that when the doctors come, they can see. And so I asked him also to bring small prayer books so that I could give as gift to my doctor and nurse. And so there was a time that I became so sad, I didn't understand why. And then I just grabbed a book. When I grabbed the book, I opened it, and exactly the photo of Abdul Baha was open. And I looked, I stared for long. I shed tears. The tears just flowing copiously. And then Abdul Baha spoke. He said, "My daughter, I am with you always." So that was the first vision I had with Abdul Baha. And so the background of this poem now that I'm writing, because I mentioned about orphans, about being helpless. And because my mother was sick when I was 9 months old. So she was hospitalized. So I was left as a 9-month-old baby. And 1 year in the hospital, then she passed away. So as a child, I was helpless. But then when I found Abdul Baha, I found a father. And this is a small poem that I just put into music. O Abdul Baha, the father of the orphans, the refuge of the helpless, the consolation of the souls. Hold down my hand, hold down my hand, Abdul Baha, hold down my hand.
Thank you. you. That's beautiful.
Ah. Oh, wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that whole story with us and just sharing your story with us and your music with us. That was very, very beautiful. Thank you. I think Bayan, dear Bayan, you were next. If you would like to
Yeah,
share.
yeah. I was sorry, I was late.
No,
What happened? I was hearing the friends are saying some poems. Are these
Yeah.
poems like, for example, they are thanking God or thanking like they are sharing the poems?
We were just writing poems about anything that we feel our hearts connected. So before, I think I'm not sure when you joined, but before that, we were talking about nature and creativity and beauty and things like that. And then things that we find beautiful and things that we find our hearts connected to. And I think then we were just writing poems based on our discussions and related to something that we feel very passionately about. And so now everyone is sharing the poems that they wrote.
Okay. I would like to say a couple of lines of the, not it is not my word. It is from a great Persian poet. Yeah, his name was Sheikh Sadi. Yeah, Sheikh Sadi says, when we breathe in, we need to thank God. And when we breathe out, we should thank God. If just for breathing, we need to thank God twice, then how many times we have to pray to thank God, which is not possible.
That's wonderful. That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm sorry you joined late and I didn't notice when and I wasn't able to tell you what we were doing, but I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nisha has something to say.
Yes, Nisha.
Yes, so I'm going to just share a very different type of poem. Have you guys heard of haiku?
Yes.
Yes, so haiku is a traditional short 3-line poem. I can't write too much, so the 3-line was very appealing to me. So I took the easy way out by writing a haiku.
Haikus can be really hard.
Yeah, but I still haven't really got the hang of using the concept of haiku, which has to be kind of like a 5-7-5 syllables. Sorry?
Yes.
Yeah, 5-7-5 syllable and stuff like that. But anyway, okay, I will just give it a go. The title of my haiku is The Quintessence of Beauty. The rain cascades on the path, shrubs quench their summer thirst, earth respires her scent. That's it, by the way, guys.
That was lovely.
It's very short.
That's great. I'm trying to count the syllables, but it's okay. It doesn't matter because that was very, very beautiful.
Could you read it again, Nisha?
Yeah. Yeah, could you read it again, Nisha?
Right. So the title is The Quintessence of Beauty. The rain cascades on the path, shrubs quench their summer thirst, and earth respires her scent. So with haiku, it basically focuses on a brief moment in time, and it kind of juxtaposes two images, and it should create a sense of enlightenment. That's what I understand from the haiku concept, but I'm not. I mean, I'm a rookie.
Yeah, that was so nice. To me, it simultaneously conveyed like a sense of hope and like a sense of like rest. I don't know. Like the earth is like and the shrubs are like filled with like hope and new life. It was very beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for bringing a new style to our little session as well. Ahmad, please share with us.
Yeah, I'm not a poet, but I wrote a few words when you said, asked us to do that. A deep look inside the nature, me sees a reflection of thy creator. Beauty untold and only felt in a corner of the heart. Metaphor is the sun for that beauty, if only one uses the inner eye to look at that glory.
I don't know what you were saying before. You're definitely a poet. That was, yeah. You're very much a poet. No, that was wonderful. That was so nice. These are all so wonderful. Thank you all. I'm conscious of time. I don't know what time you guys usually finish, Ahmad.
We normally finish at 9, so you got another 20 minutes if you have anything, but you can have questions and discussions and this interactive.
I have like a whole bunch of stuff planned, but I'm not going to do all that stuff. So would anyone else like to share their poem? There's quite a few on here who have it. If you'd like to, no pressure. But if anyone would like to, please do. Young.
Hi, Aashi.
Hi.
Can I just ask you a very simple question?
Please, yeah.
Because somebody just talk about the idea of nature, and as I understood, can you just give me whether you see loss is number one, the God is number one, nature is number two, or nature is number one and God is number two? Can you see? As a human being, and I'm learning anyway. I mean, our topic need to link with religion study. That's why we have interfaith. But because we have so many different religious background, like I'm from Catholic, and according to the Catholic, the Bible said that God created, the universe, the nature, and everything, 5 elements, whatever, air, sky, and earth, and wind, and everything, and fire. But some people, like scientists, they don't believe in all this. They will say nature take the number one, and God number two, or God even not exist. The atheist said, don't worry about God, worry about nature. We live in nature, we live in environment. So according to what your perception, is only perception, you think God is number one, nature number two, or which way is going? Because people now, that's what the question.
My personal perception, yes, I agree with, I believe that God is definitely number one beyond anything else in the universe. but I mean, I wouldn't even think to rank those two, because I feel like, as you said, as your belief is, I think so too is my belief that God created nature. And for me, and I think Nisha was mentioning this, but for me, when I'm in nature also, it, like, my soul feels close to God. It feels like it allows me to feel more connected to the creator sometimes by being in nature and being surrounded by it. And I know that a lot of scientists are atheists, but there are also a lot of scientists who believe in God, especially like back in the day, like a few hundred years ago. And I think there's so much of science, like as you delve deeper into science, I think it's very easy to be religious also, because it was like Ahmad was saying, the universe is created in such perfection. Like how can that not come from a creator? How can that, like, I don't know, this is just my personal thoughts. But if anyone else would like to add their thoughts, please do. I'm sure everyone has thoughts.
I just have a quick tip here.
Oh yeah.
I said when the earthquake happened, because the land is not like solid by itself. When the rain comes, it can destroy the land. When the ocean comes to the land, it erodes the land according to nature. Ocean, where the ocean is, the erosion of land. The shore of the ocean is to go, follow the water and everywhere. So to slice the mud, everything. And so therefore humans suffer as a consequence of the collapse of the land and the nature and the wind and everything, fire and everything. So if you read not only Western literature, but if you read the Eastern literature, the Chinese people, they believe the dragon send water, the dragon can send destruction, and they send 5 elements to come and, damage human beings. So if people, they read the West and the East literature, then they will understand God a bit better. But if they only read about science book, science book just, like one way saying, not like too many ways saying. So that's why people get confused, you see.
That's a good point, yeah. My dad said something similar to me once. He said, I don't know what he said it very beautifully, but it was that, like, most people who deny God and deny religion, like, if you spend years and years studying about science to become, like, a scientist, to become someone who has knowledge of their field, who can be considered a professional, and it takes years and years of study to reach that level. Now, if you claim that God doesn't exist, okay, but have you spent years and years and years studying religious texts and studying religion to be able to make that claim? Like, it takes how much study would be required to be able to even begin to touch the surface of religion? And without having studied it, then how can you, like, say such things? I don't know. I feel like that relates to what you were saying, that, like, so it's easy to say such things, but, like, have you gone and read the book? Have you actually looked into religion before saying such things? I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Bayon and Nisha also have your hands up. Bayon, maybe would you like to share?
Yes. I am. I'm going to say, as we know, we have several kingdoms. Like, for example, kingdom of the elements, kingdom, the botanical kingdom, animal kingdom, and the human kingdom. If we look at all this, the lower kingdom cannot recognize, cannot understand the higher kingdom, and they never. So, and then the thing is that this is my understanding from God. To know God, I can say this one. So we never can understand God because we don't have that ability or capacity. As the lower kingdom never can understand botanical kingdom, or botanical kingdom never can understand animal kingdom, but animal, they cannot never understand human kingdom. So we never can recognize and understand God as we, it is mentioned in the religion.
Yeah, absolutely. Nisha,
thank you.
Would you like to? Sorry, thank you, Brian.
Yeah, I was just going to add to Jung's question about nature and God and ranking. I don't necessarily think that nature and God should be ranked. I think nature reveals to us God's beauty, glory, power, wisdom, presence, creativity, everything else, including his loving care. So I think this is why sometimes we are drawn to spend time in beauty of nature and enjoy the beautiful plants, enjoy the animals, like even playing with your dog in the park, or swimming with the fishes or the dolphins. These are actually just one of many ways that man or people connect with God's loving presence. So I wouldn't necessarily rank them. I think it is in continuum. I think it is manifestation of God in everything around us. There is always signs if you open your senses. This is where you draw your creative energy and your creative power, just going back to the power of imagination, because it is all around us. It's whether we are wanting to open all our senses to see things and learn from it. So that's my response to that question. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for that. Also, thank you, Hogla, for sharing your beautiful poem on the chat. I really love it. It's so cute and so lovely. Can I read it out loud, actually? Would you
Hogla.
like to read it out loud? Hogla,
Ogla, you can unmute and say something.
would you like to read it for us?
Sure.
Thank you. It's really nice.
Okay, I'm really passionate about nature. I love nature so much, but when you look at nature, it's a vast thing. So I just decided to write on animals. I love animals so much.
Amazing.
So animals are creatures too, just like me and you. They need food in their tummies and lots of beefy yummies. They are little, but their hearts are big. Each animal is a wonder unto itself. Rulers of the night, the wilderness is your home. Man in his ignorance won't leave you alone. Strong together, you hunt for survival. Man and his gun, your only rival. Protecting and showing love to them, our duty.
Wow. Wonderful.
That was so nice. Thank you. I love it. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I am so conscious of the time. So just one last thing before we close. I was hoping that we could learn a song together. It's a prayer song, writing. I don't know, but I'll share the words of it. Wait, I just have to open the words. Sorry. Okay. No. Okay, so this is, some of you may know it, maybe. It's a very commonly sung prayer in Sydney, but it's very easy. And so half of it is call and response. The first 3 lines we sing together, and then the rest of it is call and response. And sorry, I'm just gonna stop for 1 second so I can make my sound original. There we go. You can hear it. Okay, I'm going to give Ramin this to hold now, and Ramin will be the response. But okay, usually I know that on Zoom, it's really hard to sing because everyone is out of sync and like everyone's internet connection is different. But I still think it would be really nice to hear everyone's voices. So even though it will be a bit cacophonous and out of sync, please unmute yourselves and just sing along. And it's okay. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, we will try. If it doesn't work, you can sing alone.
No, you have to sing. You can sing on mute or off mute. But
We'll try.
yeah, I'll sing it. Ramin and I will sing it once the first time, and then we'll just sing it again, and pretty much just join in anytime. We'll sing it maybe the whole thing 3 times, so that everyone gets.
Guys, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah. Feel free to unmute yourself now. But I'll Oh, son of being, thou art my lamb, and my light is in thee. Oh, son of being, thou art my lamb, and my light is in thee. Ye are the saplings, which the hands of loving, loving kindness hath, planted in the soil of mercy. Oh, son of being, thou art my lamb, and my light is in thee. Oh, son of being, thou art my lamb, and my light is in thee. Ye are the saplings, which the hand of loving, loving kindness hath, planted in the soil of mercy. thee. Thou art my lamp, and my light is in thee. Ye are the sapling,
Ye are the sapling,
which the hand of loving,
which the hand of
loving kindness hath
loving kindness
planted in the soil of mercy.
Planted in the soil of mercy.
Planted in the soil of mercy.
planted in the soil.
Planted in the soil of mercy. Thank you.
Yeah, that was so
Yeah,
nice.
thank you.
Thank you for singing along.
Well, we
Thank
still
you.
have time. If you want to sing it alone between Ramin and Aashi, that would be great.
Nah, it's fine. Nah.
Don't want to do it one more time.
Finished 2 minutes early.
No, it's good. Thanks for having us. It was so nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you all.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
I hope those of you I haven't met in person, I hope I get to meet you in person at some point. But yeah, it was so nice hearing all of your thoughts and reflections and poems and everything. It was such a nice space. So yeah, thanks everyone. I had a
You had
really
to-
good time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye,
You
Maria.
had to-
Thank
you had
you.
to-
Thank you,
Bye,
Aashi,
Maria.
for that interactive presentation and session. It was very lovely.
Actually, you had to go to Zambia to meet Ogla.
Oh, is that where you are,
Ah.
Hogla? We are going to come to Zambia at the end of this year. My sister lives there.
Oh, sure. Be waiting.
Where in Zambia are you? Which city?
Lusaka.
Oh, do you know my sister? Her name is Amita. Amita Yaganagi.
She's the principal.
Yeah, I
of-
know her very well.
Ogla, put on your
That's my
camera,
sister.
put on your
Tell her
camera so that we can see you.
Oh. Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Hogla.
Yes.
Hello.
Gotta tell my sister hi from me. Give her a hug.
Thank you. Okay. Thank
Thanks,
you,
everyone.
Ashi. Thank you,
Oh,
Ashi.
Ryan, your hand is
All
up.
right.
Did you
Good
want-
night.
Good
Good night,
night.
everyone.
Bye, Maria.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Good night.
Thank you, Ahmed, for
Bye.
Ryan, you're on
MC,
mute.
and thank you, Tracy, for
Ryan,
hosting.
you're on mute.
Thank you.
Ashi and Ramin, I mean,
Are you
enjoyed
able
your-
to save the
I
chat,
need to
Siva?
talk to. I need to
Yeah,
talk to
it will
Mr.
be.
Perry.
It will be. Yes.
Yeah, because some of the poems are on it and everything. And normally the way I can save, I don't seem to be able to save at the moment. So
Okay.
we need to
Okay.
save the chat.
It will be. It will be.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Tracy, Ahmed,
Thank
Bye-bye. Good night.
Sorry.
Bye, Maria.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Excuse
Good night.
Excuse-
Good night, everyone.
Excuse me. I need to talk to Perry.
Yes. Mr. Perry,
Perry's-
please stay online.
Perry's gone already.
No, he's there.
Oh, he's there.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Good
Oh, bye,
night.
everyone.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
I think you should message him.
No, I need to talk to him. Actually, I have a question.
Okay, Tracy is here, and I think
Siva's gone.
Siva is gone.
Yeah.
He gone?
Yes, he's gone.
Message him. Message him on.
You can message him on the
Interfaith or
WhatsApp.
On the WhatsApp.
Okay. Now, okay. Do you know, Ahmad? Do you know when he's coming back to Australia?
He said that he's going to go for 2 months.
26th of June.
Okay. I messaged him already, but I'm going to message him again. No problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.
Good night.
Good night.